We will call the meeting of the Governing Board of the Lammersville Unified District to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and also live streamed. At this time, we would ask you to take a moment to silence or turn off your cell phones. For those of you here who would like to address the board about a specific agenda item and/or during public comment, please fill out a blue comment card, and they're located in the back of the room, so we can know when to call upon you. I believe there are students from Altamont Elementary School to give us, lead us in the pledge and give us a presentation. Come on.
Everyone please rise for the flag of allegiance. Salute pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, Board President, trusted board members, and Dr. Nicholas. Tonight it's my pleasure to introduce our CJSF board members who have a presentation for you.
Hello, my name is Nia Parasharial and I am your president.
Hello, my name is Ritika Thakur and I am your vice president.
My name is Safina Alibai and I'm the secretary.
Hi, I'm Sophia Qtop and I'm the CJSF member at large.
To start off, let's talk about how CJSF works at Altamont. It is open to incoming and current 7th and 8th graders. To participate, you must qualify with 8 academic points from the most recent report card, as well as maintaining a good academic and citizenship standing. Members are required to complete 18 hours of community service per school year. 8th graders in good standing at the end of the school year will promote with gold honor cards. Students that are members for at least 4 trimesters will promote with honor status.
Now, as Nia might have mentioned before, our students need to complete at least 18 hours of community service every single year. So volunteering and community service take up a big part about what we do as CJSF. For example, one of our main responsibilities is providing scorekeepers for all home games. This would be volleyball, basketball, and soccer. We also volunteer at many after-school events in setting up, cleaning up, and handling younger children. Some examples of this would be Trunk or Treat, Winter Festival, or more recently, the Pipsqueak Party. Other personal volunteer options are available throughout the community where students can help out fellow community members and log in their hours.
So this year, our CGSF members made a quick release paracord, which I will pass out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So these bracelets were donated to military personnel worldwide and first responders locally throughout the state. Each bracelet is made with approximately 7.5 feet of 550 paracord. They are designed to be quickly deployed in the event of an emergency and provide an emergency line which can hold up to 550 pounds. So we'll demonstrate how to quickly release them in an emergency.
This is the bracelet. We have to first take it off the hoop. So it will separate like that, and then you take it off of this hoop. Ooh, not bad. And tie them up. So yeah. Mine's kind of struggling a little bit. Okay, I got it now, and it unravels. Okay.
Pretty Cool.
Very cool.
Now can one of you demonstrate putting it back? No, I'm just kidding.
And boom, you got it.
CJSF has made donations to military, and that has been sent through Operation Gratitude. Packages are sent to all branches of military services. First responder donations are delivered or mailed by Mr. Lee, our advisor. Some local donations are San Joaquin Sheriff Department, Mount House Fire Department, and Tracy CA.
Now that we've moved on from Mountain House donations, there are also statewide and national donations. Donations are made to agencies not local to Mountain House. They are requested by family members of CGSF members and Altamont staff.
Our CJSF chapter has delivered paracords to all sorts of different police and fire departments. Some examples of this would be the Lathrop Police Department, Lathrop Fire Department, the Manteca Fire and Police Departments, the San Rafael Police Department, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and finally, the Richmond, California Fire Department.
To date, we have made over 500 bracelets.
So here are some of our CGSF members displaying how they made their paracord bracelets.
This is photos of our San Joaquin Sheriff Mountain House and our California Highway Patrol with their bracelets, their paracord.
And then lastly, these are all the dedicated Altamont CGSF students, including all of us and then all of the people at school. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I just have one question. How long does it take to make one paracord bracelet?
To make one paracord bracelet, once you get like the hang of it, it takes either like 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, it depends on how big it is.
Wow, that's
Wow.
awesome.
That's really
Awesome.
fast. I was thinking a lot longer.
It would take me about 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. I think this is a brilliant idea. And, emergency preparedness is really important. I think a lot of us take it for granted. And I'm probably guilty of not being as prepared as I probably should be. So this is going in my emergency preparedness kit, either that or on my wrist. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Lee, can I ask how many years you've been a sponsor for CJSF?
10 years at Altamont and 1 year at Wickland. So 11 years now.
Thank you for your service. That's awesome.
Thank you again so much. And we are going to move on with the meeting, and you're very welcome to stay, but we understand that you may have homework or other things to do. So if you would like to be excused from the meeting, this is a great time to go now. And we really appreciate your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night and thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to item 3, roll call.
Lisa Boulay,
Here.
Colin Clements,
Here.
Benita Daniel,
Here.
Stephanie Olson,
Here.
David Pombo,
Here.
Devika Vitulani.
Item 4, approval and/or corrections to the agenda.
There are none. Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with 5 ayes and no noes. Item 5, committee reports. Item A, District Advisory Committee, trustee Boulay.
The District Advisory Committee will meet next on May 15th at 6:15 here in the district office boardroom.
Thank you. Item B, District English Language Advisory Committee, trustee Clements.
Actually, I wasn't able to attend the last one, but I believe trustee Boulay did.
I did. I can give that report. This was actually a combined meeting with the District English Learner Advisory Committee as well as the Education Committee. So Trustee Pombo and I were both there. At that meeting, Executive Director of Student Services Busatil did welcome introductions, and we talked about some celebrations of things that were happening throughout the district and within our own lives. And then Assistant Superintendent Sharp reviewed the local control accountability plan. Beginning next year, we are starting a new 3-year plan, so the 3-year cycle will begin again next year. So she talked about the 8 state priorities and the 3 goals for our district. And then Director she also reviewed the 2023 CASP scores and analyzed some of our scores in ELA, math, and science, and talked about how some of our subgroups performed. And overall, our subgroups particularly are performing very well. And then Director Manley talked about some special education curriculum that we have been piloting and looking to adopt. So that includes the touch math for our TK through second grade SDC kids, equals math for our TK through second grade kids, reading essentials, and language for learning for our TK through second grade kids. And that is all I have. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Trustee Pombo?
I do not.
So that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Item C, Education Committee.
As Trustee Boulay noted, our meeting was a joint meeting, and she did a very good job of reporting everything that happened at the meeting.
Item D, Facilities Committee. The next facilities meeting will be on May 9th at 6:30 p.m. here in the District Office Boardroom. Item E, Policy Committee. Trustee Daniel.
Nothing to report.
Item F, Safety Committee. Trustee Pombo.
Nothing to report at this time.
And item G, Wellness Committee. Nothing to report at this time. Item 6, Governing Board Reports. Student Trustee Vitellani.
Good evening, esteemed board members. To start my updates, I would like to begin with Mountain House High School. So for club updates, Hackathon hosted this 14-hour event with over 90 students. And together they were able to create amazing innovations and present it all in the end for their amazing day. HOSA students recently participated in their state competition at Anaheim, where over 1/3 of the team placed in the top 5 finalists. I would like to give just a special shout out to our gold medal winners. For medical innovation, we have Manya Lade, Hasini Chintanapali, Abhirami Nair, and Latika Aru. For public service announcements, Sri Maitri Grandi, Krishna Patkar, Sahasra Chikati. Organizational leadership finalists, Abhirami Nair, Anisha Pandey, and Kaya N. Rande. For Barbara James finalists, we have Rishika Telamasetti and Lakshita Kulkarni, who also won the Merit and Board of Directors Scholarship. I wish I could fit all of the names who won awards that night, but these are just our gold medal winners, and a great job to all the students who were able to place. Recently, we had our spring musical, Beauty and the Beast. It was an amazing classical story presented in such an entertaining manner. And lastly, the startup STEMplicity education by MHHS students Arjun, George, Jabril, Manil, Priyansh, and Pranavi recently demonstrated their work done with the LUSD students to the San Joaquin County Office of Education and the STEAM Hub. So their startup STEMplicity education offers affordable STEM education to students for both college and career success. They aim to expand this initiative with the help of Region 6 STEAM Hub and Dr. Troy Brown. For ASB updates, the Junior Car Show fundraiser was a fantastic event that brought together various amazing cars for everyone to enjoy. The Mustang Cello Night Rally, which took place on April 12th, was another amazing experience that left everyone in awe. It was a fun-filled event, and the vibrant the class dances and skits were just amazing to watch. The leadership class at MHHS has been working tirelessly to show appreciation to all its students, and recently we've been providing desserts, scavenger hunts, and engaging activities during lunch to give back to the students. For sporting updates, we had 4 students from Mountain House who participated in an international cricket tournament in Dubai, and they were able to win 3 matches facing teams from Dubai, UK, and Australia. For additional high school updates, AB testing will begin May 6th and end on May 17th, and good luck to all of our testers. And lastly, to conclude my report tonight, congratulations to our MHHS junior, Huda Siraj, for being selected as one of the top 400 women in computing and informational technology, as well as being chosen as the regional winner for computing in all of the San Francisco area. That concludes my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Daniel?
Thank you, Preston. On April 24th, I attended the Costa Open House. I was only able to cover half of the school. My plan was to go to Cordis too, but I just enjoyed going through each and every classroom. I started with the TK and K, and I just could not get out of those classrooms because they were so colorful, and I became kind of a kid there. So it was just, and it was lovely to see all the parents and grandparents watch all the kids' performance and all the artwork and projects. So it was a great day, great evening. On April 27th, I attended the spring musical Beauty and the Beast. As always, it's a fantastic musical. It was one, and I attended it with my daughter Cheryl, and she is a alumni of the drama, and the impact that the drama community has on our Mountain House High School kids was so clear to me because she came all the way from college just to attend that. So our drama department is doing an amazing job. So thank you to all the volunteers, the students, and the teachers who are putting in so much effort. On April 28th, I attended the Guru Vandana by HSS organization. It is basically a cultural organization, cultural celebration in recognizing the teachers and their service towards the community, to their students and the schools. So I was very honored to be amidst almost 30 LUSD teachers at that event, so it felt very special there. This week, I understand, not just this week, I think a couple of weeks we are going to be having CAST tests, MAP tests, CAST test, and all the AP tests. So I would like to wish all the students all the very best for their performance on all these tests. Lastly, today is National Principals Day. So I would like to give a shout out to all of our principals for all their efforts and contributions towards our schools. I also want to take this moment to give a shout out to my principals who were, as part of my school years, Sister Rosemary and Sister Prabha. They played a very important role in who I am today. So just want to take a moment to give a shout out to them too and remember them. There ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Daniel. Trustee Pombo?
Thank you. On April 18th, I attended the aforementioned Education DLAC joint meeting. On April 19th, I attended the Beauty and the Beast musical at Mountain House High School. And I just want to say that the performers and behind the scenes people did a fabulous job. It was just very, very entertaining. I enjoyed it very much. On April 20th, I participated in the trivia night for Wicklin and Cuesta Elementary Schools, and I'm proud to say that the team that I was on, which included 2 of my fellow board members, came in 3rd out of approximately a dozen teams. So we didn't do the best, but we didn't get beat up too bad either. On April 24th, I attended the Costa and Cordes open houses, and that was very enjoyable. I went to as many classrooms as I could, but it's, as Trustee Daniel mentioned, it's difficult to try to hit them all when you're seeing interesting things in every classroom. On April 28th, I attended the HHS Mountain House Teacher Appreciation event at Bethany School that Trustee Daniel mentioned, and also the Crystal Apple Awards, where Mountain House High School teacher Mr. Ayers was honored. On April 30th, I attended the LSF meeting, and I'm happy to say that the fundraiser that the board attended a few weeks ago netted $18,000 for the foundation and Lammersville Elementary School. I'm sure they'll do a lot of good things with that money. And I also attended the Mountain House High School Athletic Boosters meeting, and I'm sad to say that boosters are in danger of becoming dormant if they don't find some parents to step up and join the board. So hopefully anyone within earshot of my voice right now who has children involved in Mountain House High School athletics, and even if you don't have to have kids there to be a athletic booster. I've been an athletic booster since before there were athletics at Mountain House High School to boost, and I continue to support the program. So anyone out there who's interested, please attend the next meeting, which will be May 13th at the high school, and throw your hat in the ring for a position on that board. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Pombo. Trustee Clements?
Thank you, Madam President. Last Saturday, with a number of my peers on the board, I saw the final performance of Beauty and the Beast at the high school. And to steal a phrase that somebody used earlier today, it was magical. But it was also, it was somewhat poignant to listen to some of the seniors that are graduating, and that was their final performance. And Ginny and I were talking after Beauty and the Beast, and after being on the board for 9.5 years, I've watched some of these students in elementary school at various performances, and then in high school, and some of these kids have voices that are just unbelievable. And, and I've followed their career from elementary school, through high school. And it was somewhat sad, actually, to see that they were graduating because they have such incredible talent. But I'm happy to see them move on to bigger and better things for themselves. But I'm sad that we don't have them here. And once again, I am reminding the board that I will be gone both meetings in June as my family is taking a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Europe. But I will be, as I said before, doing an in-depth study of Roman and Greek history while I'm gone. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Trustee Clements. Trustee Boulay?
Thank you. My report is going to resemble Trustee Pombo's very closely. However, I promise I am not stalking you. On the April 18th, I attended the combined DLAC and education meeting along with Trustee Pombo. And on the 19th, I attended the Beauty and the Beast production at the high school. And I echo what Trustee Clements said. In fact, that the high school student who played Chip at that performance was the same the same student who played Chip when she was in 3rd or 4th grade for the Wickland production. So it was really cool to see how she has grown over the years, but that is the same for all of the students that I have been watching those plays for the last several years, and to see them grow and just become better and better, it was awesome. I also attended on the 20th the trivia night hosted by WSF and QSF, and although I was at Trustees Pombo's table with Trustee Olson and we came in third, I was able to answer maybe 3 out of 100 questions. It was mostly music trivia, so I know Dr. Nicholas would have done really well, but I did not. And then on the 22nd and 24th, I attended the high school boys tennis singles and doubles tournaments. The final match in both singles and doubles was Mountain House versus Mountain House. So congratulations to Mountain House for winning both of those competitions. On the 23rd, I attended the athletics open house at the high school. Ms. Nunn gave us an update on our league for next year, which is the VOL League. I think it stands for Valley Oak League, and talked about some of the rule changes with that league and also the addition of stunt cheer. So that will be exciting. Also, it was an opportunity for 8th graders to see what's available in terms of sports, and the large gym was just packed. It was really exciting to see these up-and-comers get interested in sports and figure out their calendar and see what they can fit in. And then on the 29th, along with some of my fellow board members, I attended the HSS Teacher Appreciation event, followed by the Crystal Apple Award ceremony, in which our high school teacher, Mr. Myers, was honored with a Crystal Apple. And then I know next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and so I wanted to thank all of our teachers for all they do, for their passion, for their dedication, for their countless hours of preparation and spending time with students, and I hope they really get spoiled next week. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you, Trustee Boulay. On April 20th, I attended the music festival at Mount Diablo, where I watched the Mountain House High School choir, chamber choir, orchestra, and advanced orchestra perform and be adjudicated. And they were all amazing. I was so impressed, and they all earned gold. And so congratulations to them. On that same date, I did attend trivia night, and I just want to say for the record that if it had been all subjects, I know our team would have won again. So I'm just putting that out there, that I think that it was, really obscure music topics that even my Gen Z son was not answering all of them. So I got that off my chest. Okay. On April, and I do need to correct what I said last meeting when I promised the board that I was going to be at all 6 performances of Beauty and the Beast. And I was not there for some because an unforeseen event that was very exciting for my family happened, and I had to go pick somebody up from the Philippines first time in U.S. soil. So I apologize for saying that I would save you seats. And then on opening night, Trustee Pombo was actually the one saving me seats. So I just want to clear up the record of my misinformation. But having cleared that up, Beauty and the Beast was amazing play. And I really appreciate the work and effort that Ms. Hornbacker and her team went into for those students, and it was magical, Trustee Clements, and the students were crying on closing night when it was over. I think just all that work, and I think I'm kind of crying too because I didn't get to see it 6 times like I was planning on. But it was a wonderful production, and I just look forward to that every year. And I'm grateful that we have that for our students. And on April 28th, I attended the HHS Mountain House Guru Vandana, where our teachers were honored, and that was really wonderful, and it was really sweet to see students so appreciative of their teachers. And then I also attended the Crystal Apple Awards, where Mr. Ayers was honored, and then we got a taste of dessert from our very own culinary arts teacher, which was an apple dessert, and it was very delicious. Trustee Daniel, I did not know it was Principal Day today, and I work for a principal, and now I feel like, uh-oh. But I am very appreciative of what principals do, and want to echo your statements there, and also echo your statements, Trustee Boulay, that I do hope our teachers feel the love and appreciation next week, and not just next week, but throughout the year, that we're very grateful for what they do for our students, and for the high quality instruction that they deliver them. And that concludes my report. Item 7, receiving of public comments. I don't have any blue cards. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to make a public comment? Seeing none, with the board's consensus, we'll forego reading the statement, okay, and move on. Item 8, action items. Actions proposed for consent are consistent with the approved practices of the district and are deemed routine in nature. Trustees receive board agenda background information in advance of scheduled meetings and are prepared to vote with knowledge on the consent items. Item A, governing board meeting minutes from the special meeting on April 13th, 2024, and the regular meeting on April 17th, 2024. Item B, contracts under $50,000. Item C, ratification of certificated and classified personnel actions. Item D, ratification of budget revisions and warrant lists for March 2024. Item E, updated 2023-2024 fundraisers. Item F, ratification of 2023-2024 inter and intra-district transfer requests. Item G, ratification of 2024-2025 inter and intra-district transfer requests. Item H, ratification of school-sponsored overnight trips. Item I, acceptance of donation. Donation 1, DJ services, estimated value of $1,200 from Mountain House Events LLC for Altamont School's ASB 8th grade dinner dance fund. And item 2, $500 from Joel Engstrom for Altamont School's ASB 8th grade dinner dance fund. Does anyone wish to poll or further discuss any of the items?
Move to approve consent items.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes. Moving on to item 9. Oh, yes, Madam Clerk, will you please do the honors?
Yes, I would like to welcome the following new employees to Lammersville. Laura Breens, food service worker. Adolfo Warigui Cisneros, maintenance and grounds worker. Sivapriya Prushathamaraj, high school clerk, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name, but welcome to the Lammersville family.
Okay, now moving on to item 9, district administrative reports. Item A, superintendent's report.
Yes, I just have a couple of items. First of all, congratulations to Mountain House High School. It has been named yet again a Distinguished Program Recognition for Project Lead the Way, which is a thematic science-based program that we have. We have it at the elementary schools and a nice feeder program up through the system. I want to thank well, we haven't called out the success of our swim program at Mountain House High School, but we have a special report today. So the varsity boys swim team won league for the 4th consecutive year. So the tennis team does have some competition for annual success in the spring. Their score was 512 compared to the second place Pacheco team at 356 and Los Banos with 311. One could take those an analysis of those numbers and say it was quite dominant performance. The varsity team is also qualified for the sectionals and the 200 medley relay and the 200 free relay and the 400 free relay. So making the sectionals means all the best of a regional set of leagues go and compete against each other. Now, the names of those competitors are Stephen Gudalano, Preston Widener, and Derek Nui. And then this other character named Caden Boostatil. All 4 of those swimmers qualified for individual events as well. The varsity Froshsoft team qualified for sectionals with their 200 free relay, and that team consisted of Sam Witham, Ali Tantani, Havish Pathpati, and Jaden Ward. And the varsity girls team, which did not win the league, but placed highest in the league in the history of the school, placed second behind Beyer High School, 410 for Beyer and 370 with our Mountain House Mustangs, and very much ahead of the 3rd place Pacheco team. And this is the highest the girls have done. And the girls qualified for the sectional relay and the 200 medley relay, and that team consists of Sofia Aquinto, Elisa Ritas, Caitlin Widener, and Mimiko Yee. And we want to thank Scoop Boostatil here from the district office who wrote this sporting event report. Thank you. I don't want to say it's about time, but DSA has finally formally approved our 15 classroom project, which will begin in June, and a lot of behind the scenes staging and all the ramp ups that Roebling Construction will be doing has already begun. But this was a kind of they are a state agency that can hold things up, and if they're slow, they're slow. So we're glad to see that was accomplished by them. And then finally, while we're honoring people like the principals today and the teachers next week, May 3rd is School Lunch Hero Day. So we want to make sure that we have a shout out to all of the folks that feed our kids and provide food and opportunities for our staff members as well. And with that, Madam President, that is and actually one last thing. We had a parent workshop for TK and K students, and though not all the enrollment is in with transitional kindergarten and kindergarten, we had over 290 parents who attended. So we want to thank Assistant Superintendent Sharp and all her coordinator folk who help out, but that was a great turnout, and that is my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. Item B, Williams Quarterly Report for January 15th, 2024 through April 15th, 2024.
There are no reports.
All right, item C, District Maintenance and Operations Report.
Good evening. In maintenance, there are no issues with the pool. The windscreens installation are scheduled for next week. Planning summer maintenance work now. The new maintenance employees started this week, and there are no current openings in the maintenance side. Operations, we're hiring one position at the high school. The high school stage curtains are scheduled for cleaning at the end of the month. The EV card at Costa is working again now, and there are no issues with civic permits.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 10, action items. Item A, consider approval of governing board resolution number 23-24-14 to establish temporary interfund transfers. Staff report?
Yes, we do this every year. The fiscal year for public education ends at June 30 and starts on July 1. This allows us to move within each of those fiscal years for cash flow purposes.
Move to approve Governing Board Resolution 232414 to establish temporary interfund transfers.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Clements, I believe this is a voice vote. Yes.
Correct.
Lisa
I
Boulay?
think, should I ask the student trustee first, or do we ask her on the voice vote too? Okay. Student trustee Fidelani.
Aye.
Okay.
Lisa Boulay?
Aye.
Colin Clements?
Aye.
Vanita Daniel?
Aye.
Stephanie Olson?
Aye.
David Pombo?
Aye.
Motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item B, consider approval of 2024-2025 Governing Board meeting calendar. Staff report?
Yes, every year at this time, we bring forward a recommended calendar. This is the recommended calendar for approval.
Move to approve the 2024-2025 governing board meeting calendar.
Second.
On a motion,
I have a bit of a conundrum. The July 17th meeting, I know one of our board members has already stated that they will not be at that meeting, and in talking to my kids and grandkids, I like to take them on vacation every summer, and that's the only week that everyone is available, and so I will not be attending a meeting that week. If the other 3 board members will certainly be there, we can leave it where it is. Otherwise, we can try to move it one way or the other.
I will make absolutely sure I'm here.
I will be here.
I will be here.
All right, then we're good.
Okay. If there's
What
no
is that? Is that the second meeting that you've ever missed?
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah.
If there's no further discussion, then on a motion by trustee Boulay and seconded by trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion, any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Moving on to item C, consider approval of facilities usage fees for new administrative secretary position, CSEA. Total ongoing annual cost, $98,793, salary and benefits. Staff report?
Yes, the size, scope, and scale of the use of district facilities is requiring, on recommendation of staff and having gone through the process through the Facilities Committee, this new position paid for with facilities funds. It was nice to hear Director Dixon speak to. There were no issues with civic permits, but in order to keep that going, we need to have administrative help over there to assist with the demands from the community of our facilities.
Move to approve facilities usage fees for a new administrative secretary position, CSEA. Total ongoing annual cost, $98,793, salary and benefits.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Clements and seconded by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes and no noes. Item D, consider approval of Governing Board Resolution number 23-24-15 to establish specifications of the election order. Staff report?
Yes, this is a perfunctory act. It's a requirement for this board to identify the 3 areas up for election in 2024, and then we will send it over to the county election commissioner.
Move to approve the Governing Board Resolution 232415 to establish specifications for the election order.
Second.
On a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
Roll call?
Lisa Boulay,
Aye.
Colin Clements,
Aye.
Vanita Daniel,
Aye.
Stephanie Olson,
Aye.
David Pombo.
Aye.
The motion passes with 5 ayes. Moving on to item E. Consider approval to renew 1-year contract with Imagine Learning for Edgenuity Accelerated Math in grades 6 through 8, 2024-2025 school year, total $139,350. Staff report?
Yes, this supports our accelerated math program curricular needs, and we recommend this 1-year contract.
Move to approve renewal of the 1-year contract with Imagine Learning for Edgenuity Accelerated Math in grades 6 through 8, 2024 through 2025 school year, total $139,350.
Second.
On a motion by Trustee Boulay and seconded by Trustee Daniel, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes with 5 ayes. Item 11, information and discussion items. Item A, Board Governance Handbook Update. Staff report?
Yes, on Saturday, April 13th, the board participated in a board workshop related to the handbook with the eminent Dr. Mary Hopewell facilitating. And based on the discussion and the material covered, Dr. Hopewell made the recommendation for a particular set of protocols to be added related to the trustee attendance. We have a draft of said protocols that has been passed out here on the dais, but also here. You know, when she sneezes, things just show up on the screen. So
Magical.
So there we go. So this is for the board's purview, but if the board's consensus is to add it to the handbook, we'll follow that direction.
I have a clarifying question on, let's see, it would be sort of in the middle, the second solid square bullet. It says, after the board calendar is established, trustees inform the whole board, blah, 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 of travel plans. Does that, just to clarify, does that mean any travel plans or travel plans only when we anticipate missing a meeting?
Only when you're missing a meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
If you're going to be gone for a weekend, you have to get a
We all
majority
wanna know.
vote.
I guess I dug my own hole for that one.
Any discussion by the board?
I have a comment and a question also. So first of all, I talked to Dr. Nicholas with regards to these protocols today morning, and I asked him who drafted these, and he said that he was the one who drafted it, and I did let him know that these protocols have been drafted so clear, concise, thoughtful, and very much detailed. So I would like to thank the draft, the verbiage that's being used. So this is going to be, this is going to set the communication much more clearer for not just the present, but also for the future. When I was absent, I did a lot of guesswork. I didn't know who to communicate, what to do. And so this protocol is just looks so perfect. And I do have one verbiage, which I feel like if it's added, then it just makes it more clear. I can just read it out to you. The last one, under the traveling board members agreed to, okay, the last bullet point. It says, meet and confer with the board president upon return from traveling to review board agendas and closed session dialogues of missed meetings. If we could just go ahead and add before the next meeting, because that I just felt that that would be much more specific, just to make sure that you know, whoever is missing the meeting is, you know, prepared before the next meeting. So I just felt that that would be a good addition.
I think that's a great suggestion. I think it's a good addition. And it makes a lot of sense that you'd want to meet before the next meeting. So that clarifies that very well.
Would certainly help the missing board member be up to speed on anything that happened before the next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Would the board like me to add some verbiage around the trustee Boulet's question about 30 days of advance of a board meeting missed, or leave it be?
With at least 30 days advance notice of a missed board meeting might be a good clarification, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. When it says travel plans need to be coordinated amongst board members annually or whatever, what do we mean when we say coordinated?
So for me, my purview is the district's business, and I'm hired by the board to conduct the business for the district. If we were to have a board meeting where we weren't coordinated and 3 board members missed, we would not be able to take any votes on any action items. And there are a lot of meetings where there isn't any substantive one that couldn't be put off, but it would be bad form from my perspective for us to have to do that. And it would be, more importantly, if we had a major issue that had to be addressed and we didn't have a quorum, that would be counter to my role in the district. So I thought it was important to have 2 or 3 opportunities for clarification around people's calendars.
I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. I think failing to achieve a quorum would be bad form. But are we saying coordinated? So first come, first serve. Like if you're a board member and you schedule, like I've scheduled my June vacation over a year ago, right? And notified the board, hey, I want to do this. It's a once in a lifetime trip. Taking my mom and my aunt and my kids. So that would obviously be first. And then another board member says, hey, I've got a family member that I need to go take care of, right? And then finally, a third board member has something. There is no teeth to the concept that, well, if 2 board members have already got dibs, if you will, on a given meeting, there's no teeth to the concept that a third board member can't have a funeral, right? Right there, smack dab in the middle. So I understand what the word coordinated means, but I'm wondering how we, and realize if you change 3 board members, or actually if you change 1 board member, how the board as a whole defines coordination could change. And so I'm asking my peers on this board, knowing that there will be, at least 1 new board member come December, right? I mean, that is a statement of fact. It's nothing against any one board member. It is simply a statement of fact. So knowing that idea might change in December, I would still like to make sure, or to understand what we as a board mean by coordination.
So can I just add a couple cents here? And this goes back to the discussion, part of the discussion that we had at the board workshop in terms of missing meetings and trying to ensure that missing meetings is an exception, not a general rule, like not a general practice. I mean, we only have 19 scheduled meetings. We know in advance when these 19 meetings are. So when somebody misses 2 meetings, they're attending less than 90% of the meetings. If you miss 4 meetings, you're down to like 79%. So there's not a lot of meetings to attend to begin with. So in the proposed language here, we didn't write anything about the expectation of how many meetings we should attend. And I'm not saying we should, I'm not saying we shouldn't, we didn't address that. But what I do think is important, because we have 3 positions up in November for the election, I think it's important for anybody who runs to consider with all their other duties and responsibilities in life, can they commit to attending most of the board meetings? I think that's very important. We all have duties, we all have responsibilities. My duties and responsibilities are not important than any one of yours. And by accepting this role, we actually raised our right hand and we swore that we would faithfully carry out our duty. And that is being here at the board meeting. So I think it's important for any future potential candidates to know that, yeah, we should be attending more board meetings. It should be a rule to attend, an exception if we miss, like those once in a lifetime opportunities that you planned a year ahead of time, things like that. And so given what I said, hopefully the coordination will be minimal. I mean, you can't coordinate an emergency if you have to go away somewhere to take, because somebody got sick. That you can't coordinate. And if that does happen, as long as most of us are attending the majority of meetings, we shouldn't have an issue with not having a quorum. So those are my comments, and I don't know if that answered your question or not.
I think what you were speaking to kind of what I was thinking too about just that I mean, I don't know, you can't really do anything legally, but maybe a statement about, you know, we expect that you understand that this policy is not is exceptional. Like, it's not something that should be just done for any vacation. Like, I take my role very seriously, and I felt really bad last June when I did plan mistakenly around the date of a board meeting, because I know that my job as a board member, I represent people when I'm at the meetings on the dais. And so I felt really bad because I coordinate my life. I plan my vacations around the board calendar, actually. And I think that what you said is important, that anybody considering running for office needs to realize that, you know, that whatever else is going on in our lives, committing to be on the board means committing to be at the meetings and do the business of the district. I'll just share a personal story that when my father was dying of lung cancer and we were caring for him, I coordinated with my siblings my travel time around the board meetings, and I considered, can I do both? You know, if my dad survives for long term. I didn't get the opportunity to even have that decision because my dad passed away, but it was something that I consider as a part of my integrity as a board member. And I don't know how we phrase that in the policy because, you know, it's written really well, but it would be nice to say something like what you were saying, Trustee Boulay, about this is not a policy so that you can plan and, you know, pick all the meetings you want to miss. This is for times when it's out of your control, you know, to make it work, to be at the meeting, and because we understand that things happen, but it shouldn't be a frequent thing. Any other comments or thoughts?
So I think where we are as a board is that the verbiage in this board governance handbook notwithstanding, if the behavior of a given board member is in accordance with the board policy on events causing a vacancy, it's acceptable. Is that correct? Is that our view as a board?
I suppose.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
So the board governance handbook is a request, we'd like to have.
Yeah.
But the only must-haves is not to trigger, and I forget which board policy is, but it's events causing a vacancy, where it talks about no board member shall be absent from the state for more than 60 days, except in any of the following circumstances, yada, 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 right? And So, you know, it's like you can miss multiple meetings in a row as long as it doesn't violate that section on your own. Like, you don't have to coordinate. You can just do it. And while the rest of the board, you know, and the community may not like it, that is what could happen. And there is no teeth to the concept that you can't. And that as long as you're back in the state once, you can be gone again for another 59 days, right? Right? That would not violate that particular board policy, which is stipulated in law, correct?
Yeah, well, I think the difference is one is what's legal and what's not legal, and the other is the expectation of conduct by board members by the board.
I agree. But if we as a board, I see myself in a situation where, or I see us in a situation where different board members have different views of what their obligations are. And so I'm like, well, there's no teeth to the agreement. The only teeth are cannot violate the vacancy. If you trigger a vacancy, then there's a potential problem. But short of triggering a vacancy, then you can any of us can do whatever, up to and including cause there to be a lack of a quorum, right? Which you know, I've said it before. Obviously, I would find that distasteful to be gone and cause a situation where there is not, we can't field a quorum here on this side. So that's why we have 5 people, so that, you know, more than one person can be gone, right? And still allow the business of the district to be done. And the way I've always viewed it is, if all 5 of us cannot do something, then I shouldn't do it. If I, like me missing 2 meetings, you know, missing a couple of meetings one time in 9 years, and yeah, I've been sick. I mean, Pombo, like, it's crazy that I'm going to miss more meetings in 1 month than he's missed in his entire career on the board. I don't think that Pombo is the gold standard, because if he was, then I would have had to resign long ago.
He's the
right?
platinum standard.
And so it would be unreasonable to say you can miss 1 meeting in 15 years. But I don't want to say, like, and one of the comments that was made was, you know, there are actually people that are thinking about running for school board that have said, I have, you know, sick relatives that I'm going to need to care for, and I'm totally sensitive to that. But imagine if all 5 of us had sick sick relatives that we needed to care for. Each of us would be in the same situation. And I acknowledge that the board policy on triggering a vacancy is just, I guess what I'm saying is, just because it doesn't trigger a vacancy doesn't mean that it's a reasonable interpretation of what this district, what our constituents, and what this board needs to do, because we can't all 5 do that. And it's you know, if I had a sick relative, and actually, to be honest, I think everybody on this board knows the situation with my sister, right? Cancer. She's had multiple tumors removed. She's had half of her pelvis removed. She is low income because she's been going through all this. She can't stay at home by herself all the time, but her husband needs to work, right? And she can't afford in-home care. Well, Kieran Wright allows me to work remotely. My accounting manager, she has had to move to Missouri. She lives in Missouri with her parents, and she has for 2.5 years. She works remotely. She comes back once every other month. So I could say, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be here one meeting, and then I'll be gone the next 45 days. And I'll be here one, and I'll be gone the next 45 days. And I'll be here one, and I'll be gone 45 days. And I'll be here one, and I'll be gone 45 days. I can literally go the rest of my term for 2.5 years and do that and not trigger the vacancy. The point that I'm making, and if you want to see it, I can show you the facts and circumstances. My sister needs help, but my thing is that we have to rely on each other. The 5 of us on this, actually the 6 of us on this dais, have to rely on each other. And so we have to be careful that we don't create a situation that's untenable for our peers and for the district. So I understand that there is no way we can say, well, you can be gone 2 board meetings in 15 years. And so what's the right answer? I know that there's not a right answer. I know that this is as close as we can get to a right answer. I just encourage and exhort, especially, the people that are considering running. We already have a board member with a parent that requires care, and we can't all 5 have that. It's not sustainable. So my exhortation to people that are considering running for the board is, just because it's allowable under the vacancy provision doesn't necessarily make it equitable. And so think long and hard, because I could easily say, well, I'm going to be here 1 board meeting out of 4 for the next 2.5 years. But that is, yes, I know. You know me, I take the bookends. I go to the absurd and the no meetings missed in 15 years and missing 3 out of every 4. But I think that proves the point of there is an answer somewhere, and we have to strike that balance, each of us.
Well, and I think it's important for anybody considering serving as a board member to know, that it's not just about all the things you just said, but it's also, as a board, being cohesive. All the stuff they teach us at CSBA trainings, it's hard to do when people are frequently absent, and it's hard. I think we've demonstrated a cohesive board, and I've seen cohesive boards before I was elected, and when watching the boards run, I think that Lammersville has modeled great boardsmanship. Is that a word? I'd like, boardspersonship, and I would like to see that continue, because I think it makes a difference. It makes a difference for the staff that works in this district and serves our students, and it makes a difference for the community to have a board that can be cohesive and do the right things. That's hard to do when nobody's ever there at the same time, if that makes sense. And that's one thing I've really appreciated about being on the board, is that I feel like we have had a cohesive board, and I want that for the future, because I do think it helps the board be very impactful.
I would like to see something perhaps on the district website for potential candidates that is norms and expectations of serving on this board, so that people understand the position and the expectations and the requirements and so on and so forth. Because I will admit, when I first ran for the board 15 years ago, I didn't really understand what the board did. I knew a lot of what the board did, but I didn't understand the responsibilities, the dedication that it takes to be an effective board member. And I've run against a lot of people who knew much less than I did 15 years ago. And I just think it would be helpful if people had some kind of an idea of what they're getting into when they run for the board in the first place.
Okay, so what I heard was overall statement before the protocols, a couple of word ads, and then research some information for people interested in what being a board member is, and I think we could get CSBA to help us out with that. So I wrote just a general overview of what I think the board's discussion has been at the workshop and tonight. So the title statement would be, board meeting attendance is a requirement to fulfill the duty of being a board member. Missed meetings should be minimized. I think that's the spirit of what you were speaking to. On bullet 2, circle 1, with at least 30 days advance notice of a missed board meeting unless an emergency occurs. And third square, last bullet, and closed session dialogues of missed meetings before the next board meeting. Does that meet the spirit?
And very wonderful restating and showing you're listening, as Mary Hopewell taught us, if I might add.
When you have ADD, you have some tricks.
So I think we have consensus on the revisions to the attendance protocols segment.
Yes.
And then the other stuff.
Yes, I believe so.
Thank you.
Sorry to step in. I apologize.
No need to apologize, Trustee Clemens. Is there any further comments before we move on? All right. Item 12, calendar. Item A, Thursday, May 9th, 2024, Facilities Committee meeting at 6:30 p.m. in the District Office Boardroom. And item B, Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, the next regular Governing Board meeting, 7 p.m. District Office Boardroom. In a moment, we will be adjourning to closed session where we will discuss the following items. Item A, Public Employee Discipline, Dismissal, Release, Complaint, Government Code Section 54957. Item B, Conference with Real Property Negotiators, Government Code Section 54956.8. And item C, Conference with Legal Counsel, Anticipated Litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9B, Significant Exposure to Litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of one case.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
On a motion by Trustee Pombo and seconded by Trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned to closed session at 8:08 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.